Hello dear students, today we will be discussing about the liberation of Balochistan. Balochistan, as we know, is a southwestern province of the Pakistan nation. Now the citizens of Balochistan have been fighting Pakistan for over decades, demanding their rights and an independent country because of the alienations faced by these population from Pakistan, the economic alienation, the political alienation, the severe violation of human rights that have been occurring in Balochistan since so many decades. The Baluchi Liberation Army has been fighting a long prolonged battle with Pakistan with the objectives of an independent Balochistan. As of 13th May, the Balochistan Liberation Army had totaled about 71 attacks on Pakistan. They hit major military convoys, major military supply routes, also the railway and road networks that connected Pakistan to Balochistan. All these major areas were hit. And finally, on 13th, Balochistan Liberation Army occupied a place in central Balochistan called as Mangochar. Mangochar has been is under the control of the Balochistan Liberation Army, from where the Baloch citizens declared their independence. They have self-proclaimed themselves as the rulers of Balochistan. From now onwards, Balochistan is an independent country. You can see this. This is the Baluchi national flag. This is the national symbol. How we have the Ashok Stamba as the national symbol of our government. This is the national symbol of the Baluchi government. The Baluchi government has its own parliament, has its own national anthem. So they want a democratic republic of Balochistan in this region, and this was thanks to the military efforts by the Baluchi Liberation Army that took command over Mangochar. Now, what are the reasons? Let us see the timeline of Balochistan. In 1948, Balochistan was annexed by Pakistan. Balochistan did not join Pakistan willingly. It was annexed by the military of Pakistan in 1948. This annexation occurred mainly because of port access, and the next one was it is immensely rich in natural gas, gold, etc. A very mineral rich region of Balochistan was a prime target of Pakistan in 1948. Now, with time passing, around 1973 to 1975, there we began liberation efforts. The population of Balochistan began to revolt against the government of Pakistan because of the ill treatment that happened in the previous years. From 1948 to till 75, there was a lot of ill treatment and alienation of the Baluchi people. There were widespread human rights violation, where people who would fight against Pakistani government for their independence, who would put out their views, would be kidnapped by the state. There were brutal murders going on in the province. A lot of atrocities committed against women in this region, and mainly this Balochistan region is a economically mineral rich state. Therefore, you should see that there is a substantial development in Balochistan, but this is not the case. On the resources, by mining the resources of Balochistan, by consuming the resources of Balochistan, the oil, the minerals, etc., the Pakistani army is getting bolstered. These people have not received their returns. Since it is their land, the money that is extracted from the resources of their region should help them. So in Balochistan, you do not see schools, hospitals, etc. The most common sighting you see in Balochistan is military checkposts and severe surveillance by the Pakistani military. It is a military status type of state. So, owing to all these problems, in 1973 and 1975, liberation activities began in Balochistan. We can say it was mostly aspired by the liberation of East Pakistan, which is Bangladesh. As we know, in 1971, after the war for the liberation of Bangladesh, the East Pakistan was turned into Bangladesh after having separated itself from Pakistan. Now, taking the liberation of Bangladesh as an ideal, many people in Balochistan also began fighting for their liberation, fighting for a separate nation for themselves. In 2000s, the Baluchi Liberation Army. The Baluchi Liberation Army was established around the 2000s. See, Balochistan has the various ethnic groups. There are about 12 major ethnic groups present within Balochistan. The Baluchis, the Sindhis, and the Pashtuns being the majority of all of them. Now, what Pakistan did was, it politically alienated Balochistan. That means no people from the Baluch area were allowed to hold elections. They were economically alienated. The fruits of economic developments didn't reach Balochistan. The Baluchi culture was also hampered. There are each of these ethnic groups have their own languages. Their languages were suppressed, their traditions were suppressed, and their culture was suppressed by the Pakistan administration or the Pakistani army. In a sense, it is similar to what Pakistan did to East Pakistan. The same rules have been followed, the same modus operandi has been followed on Balochistan. So that is why Liberation Army came into the forefront to fight for its independence. Now, as of 2025, they have Mangochar. The Balochistan Liberation Army has control over Mangochar and has declared independence. Now, this is an unofficial citation. That means Balochistan has not yet been recognized by the United Nations. Once it gets the recognition from United Nations, only then will it be called as a full-fledged country. Now, various senior journalists in Balochistan are demanding for the nationhood or the recognition by the UN. UN for many years has been silent on this topic. In the sense, it has been supporting Pakistan, treating this Baloch Liberation Army or Balochistanis fighting for their freedom as terrorist. So, therefore, there is a lot of things that have to be done still. In a best possible thing that could happen for the people of Balochistan is now that the UN recognizes Balochistan as a nation and sends its peacekeeping force to Balochistan to protect it from Pakistani aggression. Now, since Balochistan Liberation Army has occupied Mangochar, there will definitely be a military attack by the Pakistani army on Mangochar to reclaim the territory back from them. So, before that happens, if the UN grants nationhood to Balochistan, then they can call for a ceasefire or even call in the peacekeeping force to deter Pakistan invading Balochistan. Now, these are the possible scenarios. Many leaders in Balochistan, many senior journalists have also asked the direct support from India for their freedom. That is again an inspiration from what we did in Bangladesh. So, some journalists have also asked for the establishment of a Balochistan embassy within India, which is directly saying that India recognizes Balochistan as a nation in itself. The Ministry of External Affairs is yet to give statements regarding these advancements. But see, this was since India and Pakistan were engaged in a military conflict from 10th, 11th, etc., these Baluchis were also active, but the Balochistan Liberation Army was active on the southwestern front. When Pakistan was busy tackling India on its eastern front, these Liberation Army took the advantage of it, and they captured Mangochar. Since Pakistani's chain of command military bases have been hit severely, there is a chaos in the military administration in Pakistan. Therefore, this was the ripe time for the Baluchi Liberation Army to occupy Mangochar. The National Security Advisor of India also made a comment in certain speeches when they say you can tell about addressing to Pakistan that if you do a Kashmir, we will do a Balochistan. So therefore it has always been in the news. Now why is Balochistan so important to Pakistan? See, Balochistan is essentially a deserted area. There is not much for agriculture. The agriculture hub of Pakistan is Punjab, Pakistani Punjab. What is the major importance of Balochistan for Pakistan and China as well is the CPEC and the Gwadar port. China has an ambitious project called as the One Belt, One Road initiative, where it wants to connect its trade lines via railways, roadways and ports as well. It wants to revive the ancient Silk Route. In the sense, it wants to diversify its transportation from China to the Western world. From here, it will reach the Europe, Eastern Europe and Europe, etc., and also other Western countries. So, to solidify their trade routes, China has invested billions in this CPEC corridor. And this CPEC corridor is the prime target of Balochistan Liberation Army. Every time they wanted to cause unrest for the Pakistan, they attacked this CPEC. China also is greatly worried about this region because billions of their investments are at a dangerous situation over here. There is another port called Gwadar port. As a reply to Gwadar port, India developed a port called Chabahar port in Iran to deter Chinese ambitions of circling India via the One Belt, One Road initiative. So, therefore, this region is of prime importance to Pakistan and China as well. It is as the heart and as a major port and major part of its One Belt, One Road initiative flows through this Baluchi area. So now what could be expected in the future is Pakistan will definitely try to regain control of Mangochar and quell the Baluchi Liberation Army. China will also support it. So what goes on further, it will be dependent on the global leaders, the UN and so on and so forth. So let us see if the dreams of every Balochistan person comes into fruition and they have a happy and peaceful nation ahead. Thank you.